Hello, my Teaserking family. How's everybody? You can see the professor after his haircut. Yeah, she only had like in the afternoon, so I took the first appointment at 12. I got some good groceries. And I was watching the basketball. So in the basketball so far, to recap, we got Alabama over 154. We hit Maryland plus 2.5. We got Charleston, San Diego State under 141. We lost the under on Virginia Furman at 131. We went under. We have Utah State getting laying 1.5 to Missouri. We've got Princeton, Arizona under 153. We've got Kansas Howard over 146, which looks like it's getting there really quick. Illinois, Arkansas, we are also under 143 there. So that's where we stand. Let's continue. Hello, Chuck Posted. How are you today? All right, so let's go to did we give San Diego State? Yeah, I think we did. Yep, so we're down. Look at Kansas, 50 to 37.5, 87, and I only need 146. And Howard's scoring enough that it should be good. Missouri 47-45 against Utah State. We got Utah State minus 1.5. What was cool is I turned on, so when I get home, I turn on the Maryland game, and we've got Maryland, and Maryland's losing by 8. Next thing I know, a minute and a half later, the game's tied, and then Maryland wins. They had the better offense and the defense. They were the better team, and it won. So I felt pretty good about actually rhyme and reason to that. So 310, we got San Diego State, Charleston. 5.5, 142.5. And I've gone under. Alabama 24.5, 153.5. That one I liked over. I just think Alabama's gonna go wild. Arizona, Princeton, Arizona minus 14.5. 153.5. I like the game under. Very good defenses. Illinois, Arkansas 1.5. 143.5. I like the game under. It's too hard to call. This game's too even to take Arkansas, Illinois. I mean, they're 20-12 and 20-13. How do you pick a winner? So now if this is football, I tease the dog. If this is football, I probably tease the dog in the Utah State, Missouri game. I probably would have teased Maryland, but I won with them anyway. I would have teased Charleston plus 11.5. I would have teased the Kansas Howard over down to 140. And I'd probably be either taking Illinois in 7.5 or under 49 or 149. But I don't know how teasers work in basketball. I'm not a big I bet more on the team needs the game and stuff like that. More art of war. All right, now we get to the 650 game. And we've got the Iowa Hawkeyes, the best under team in college football. Are they an under team in college basketball? You would think so. Iowa and Auburn, where the hell are they? Iowa and Auburn. What bracket are they in? So we've got mostly south going now, a little bit west, and here comes a Midwest game. What the fuck? Who's doing this? They're all over the place. Iowa, Auburn. We've got Auburn a 1.5-point favorite. Over under 150. We'll call it 152. And if we look at the line, if we look at the team, Auburn 72 a game, gives up 67. Iowa 80, gives up 74. So Iowa's an over team. Auburn, I don't know what you call a 72-67. I don't know what's a good defense in college. I can tell you in the 70s, you're probably a good defense. 67, you're okay. Houston's is in the 50s. So let's say this is an over team versus an over team. That's why the over under is 152. I'm gonna go over in the game. Auburn laying 1.5, but Iowa's defense is too weak to play them. But I don't like Auburn in the game, so I like the game over one. Fucker, I'm back over. Now I'm in the East with Duke. Who's the idiot doing these? That before you just play your bracket. You play the East and the South, and then you play the West and the Midwest, and it's ridiculous. Duke, we have -6.5, a name play. Duke 72-63. So here's the problem: you got offense playing defense. What do? We take the defense, right? So we feel that Duke's going to slow down Oral Roberts. Duke only scores 72. I think Oral Roberts here is a live dog. 6.5. They're 30-4. They can score up the butt. And they give up only 70, which is okay. But Duke doesn't really score. So what you have here is a over team playing an under team. And I would tease the dog here. I would take Oral Roberts in 12.5 in football. I would say, do I want to take? I'm going to take Oral Roberts and the 6.5 here. 30-4. Their defense is good enough at 70. Duke's is 63. I can't go over with Duke's defense, but I can't go under with Oral Roberts' offense. So you see the dilemma here. We want to bet on the defense, which is Duke, 63. So Oral Roberts is not going to score in the 80s. So let's say it's a 70 point game, so 140. That's where you're at. 145 doesn't give me an edge. But I think in this situation that Oral Roberts will be able to score enough on Duke, getting the 6.5. I don't think Duke blows them out here. They don't have the offense to do it. And I think Oral Roberts will solve some of the defense of Duke. So take Oral Roberts in the 6.5. They score way too many points. Nick's favorite, Texas against Colgate. A nice dental product. We've got Texas laying 13.5. Now they just beat Kansas by 20, so 140 died over. We got a 149 total. Colgate, let's see. Colgate is 26-8, so they're not a very good team. Texas 26-8. But they just killed Kansas. You got to count that. Let's see what we got. We got Colgate scores 78 a game, gives up 68. Texas scores 77, gives up 67. This is a dead even game. You got Texas laying 13.5. Really. I'm just shocked. Have a solid offense and a solid this game that even. I like Colgate here. I'm gonna get my colors out. Instead of trying to mark it, I'm gonna mark colors. So we got Kansas over, we got Illinois under, we got Iowa over, we got Alabama over. Maryland we won with. We got Charleston under. We had Furman under. We lost. We got Utah State. We got the under in the Princeton game. We got Oral Roberts. Okie doke. Yeah, I mean, Colgate. Now, obviously, different competition. Obviously, Texas blew them out, but we got 13.5 with Colgate, who can score and play defense. We will see. Okay, Northwestern and Boise. Where is this game? Jesus, this is another West game. Wow. Northwestern minus 1.5. And 128. That's a very low, but let's see if it makes sense. I thought that one low I had in Virginia Furman would be low, and it was 131, and they hit the shot at the buzzer to win it. Let's see what this is all about. Boise scores 72, gives up 64. Northwestern scores 67 and gives up 62. This is a little at Boise's the better team here. It's definitely an under, but at 128, it's extremely low. I like Boise. They're the better team, and they're getting points. They're getting 1.5. Tease the dog. Here's where I would tease the dog. If we can bet teasers in basketball, I'm teasing the dog in that game. I'm taking Boise and the 7.5. It's definitely a low scoring game. Houston, Planet Houston against Northern Kentucky. Houston 18.5, 121. Seems low against Northern Kentucky. Northern Kentucky's 22-12. That's not going to be pretty. Northern Kentucky scores 68, gives up 63. They're an under. Houston, see, they used to be an 80. They went now 75, but look at this defense, 56. Northern Kentucky's not going to score in this game. Houston at 75, 121. That's 60-60. That's a fucking low under. It looks like an under game because Northern Kentucky's not going to score. Houston at 18.5. It's the tournament. You got Northern Kentucky not going to score. Decent defense. They're going to do it. With this kind of thing, I got to take Houston. If this is the NFL, I'm not laying 18. I mean, they give up 56. The Northern Kentucky's 63. So that's why it'll be Northern Kentucky's not going to score, but I don't think they're going to hold Houston under 70. So 70 to 60 is 130. I think actually this is an over 21. But I don't think Northern Kentucky's going to score a whole lot against Houston. I mean, they suck. They're probably the worst 16 in the tournament. Yeah, let's take Houston in the blowout here. This should be a blowout. And this game is what? This game's at 9:20 tonight. Okay. Tennessee and Lou Lafayette. Oh, it's hard for me to go against Lou Lafayette. Tennessee, where the fuck? Okay. Tennessee. Got it. It's all over the board, these games. Tennessee minus 10.5. 135.5 against my Lou Lafayette. All right, let's take a look at it. Lou Lafayette scores 78, gives up 69. Tennessee scores 71, gives up 58. Fucking Tennessee. They're up there with Houston. 58 a game. What a defense. 71. Lou Lafayette does score 78, and they still give up only 69. Probably an under with this Tennessee defense. What's the over? 130. See, I'll go under here because this is at least 135. You got me in the Houston game at 121. All right, so we're going to go under Lou Lafayette, Tennessee. If Tennessee's defense is true at 58, Lou Lafayette's not going to score 78. Tennessee only scores 71, so give them 70 to 60s, 130. It's going to be close. I don't know. I got to get a feel of these over-unders in college basketball. I thought for sure Virginia would be under, so I was a little surprised there, but Maryland won. So, but even then, they're down 5, they're up 5. You can just see it's too easy to score in college basketball. It makes it kind of difficult. So, much as we like Lou Lafayette, Tennessee's defense at 58 is ridiculous. So 71, 58. Be a low-scoring game. If I had to choose, I would probably take Lou Lafayette and 10.5. But I'm biased, Lou Lafayette. I'll tell you that. With Tennessee's defense, I think Lou Lafayette scores a little. It's basketball, so I would tease the dog in that game. A&M and Penn State. Where the hell are they? They're with Texas. Okay. A&M, Penn State. A&M's laying 2.5. And 130, we'll call it 135. Keep it easy. A&M favored against Penn State, the Nittany Lions. Penn State scores 72, gives up 68. A&M 73, gives up 66. This game's dead even. Figure about 140. What do we got for over under? 135. Probably goes over that. And then we've got basically a dead even game. So we get 2.5. All right, so let's take Penn State plus the 2.5 here. We could also play the over, but like I said, let me get comfortable with the over-unders. It's probably an over. It's too low, 134. I think it's just too low. They both score, give up in the seventh. It's got to be a 140 game. So it's probably an over also if you prefer that. I just think the dog is a good play here. UCLA against Asheville. North Carolina, Asheville. UCLA with an injury. UCLA is laying 17.5, so I guess the injury is not too bad. And the over-under 130, we'll call it 137. So let's get to the bottom of it. So again, I'm in scoring. So I'm in the matchup and I'm in scoring, and then it gives you the magic numbers. UNC Asheville scores 75, gives up 68. UCLA scores 73, gives up 60. UCLA probably an A team. Nashville is probably an over team, 75-70. So they're going to play a 140. UCLA with this defense and the injury. So it's probably close to a 140 with this defense. Without that, this is a real tough game to play because I think the 17.5 is kind of a big number. And UNC Asheville, not the greatest defense. UCLA. Let's go UCLA to blow them out. I don't like the defense of Asheville. They give up 100. They give up 100. They give up basically 69 a game. That's 70. That's not a good defense. And UCLA gives up 60. So I think they'll slowly grind them out and then just keep pounding away at them. And that's it. So that's the plays for today. We will do tomorrow's tomorrow, today. So we got Maryland beating West Virginia. That's a W. We had Maryland plus the 2.5. Furman, Virginia, over 131. We went under. It got to 135. See, here's where it's not a big, it's 68-67. Which is 135 points. It's not a lot. So that's why you got to be careful. What do you do with these 130 over-unders? And again, the guy hits the three-pointer at the end. So let's say they don't get it at 67-65, which is still 132, which is real close to the 131 I had. So that's it. All right. So let's recap. So in a recap, we got the Illinois-Arkansas game under. Now it's 144. Oh, wait a minute. All right. Let's go all the way to the top. Missouri-Utah State, we got Utah State and 5.5. Is that what we got? Yeah, we got Utah State. No, Utah State's 1.5 point favorites. I don't know what the hell they're doing here. They keep changing the line. Like, dudes, what are you doing? I hate this interplay line. So Utah State's 1.5. We had Utah State. Missouri's up 6 with 5 minutes left. Anybody's game. Kansas, 11:40 to play, 69-52. Kansas, we're going over 146. It takes me a while to add this. 11. We're at 121 already with 11 minutes left. That's going to be an over for sure. 146. Alabama's already 15-6. We've got Alabama over 154. Charleston, San Diego State, 8-6. We've got this game under 141. Arizona, Princeton starts at 4. We've got the game under 153. Too much defense to go over that. See, that's where you can take advantage of a 150. These 135s, very, very easy to get there. Arkansas, 1.5, 143.5. We have got this game under 143.5. Again, two good teams. This would be tease the dog and a teaser. But in this case, we're going under, we need more than 1.5. Auburn, 1.5 over Iowa. We have taken Iowa. We are going over 152 here. $152 over Iowa, Auburn. Duke and Oral Roberts, 6.5, 145.5. And we've got Oral Roberts and 6.5 here. Both games. This is a dead even game here. Texas and Colgate. We are taking Colgate in the 13.5. Dead even game here, and 13.5 is a big number. I don't buy it. Tennessee, Northwestern, 1.5, 128.5. We like Boise in the 1.5. Boise's the better team. Boise will win the game straight out. Getting 1.5. I mean, the 128 so low. I think they go over that. But it's a 60-60 game. You're at 120. So if we can get to even 65, you get over. So I think this is going over, but I do like Boise's the better team getting points. Houston, 18.5, 121.5. I like Houston. Lay the 18.5. This defense is going to just shut out Northern Kentucky, which takes away the over-under. I'd rather play the 18.5. Tennessee against my Lou Lafayette, 10.5, 135.5. Tennessee, I like under 135.5 in this game. Do like Lou Lafayette, but Tennessee's defense is so strong. I'm just going to play the under in the game. A&M and Penn State. A&M 2.5 over Penn State. I like Penn State in the 2.5. 134.5. That's right there. I mean, you don't know which way that's going. That's like a 47 in the pros, in pro football. So 134.5. I don't know which way to take that. Probably over, but I like the dog in the games. I'll take Penn State in 2.5. They've looked good lately. UCLA 17.5, 136.5 against UNC Asheville. I'm going to take UCLA, lay the 17.5. Look for them to blow out. Asheville does not have a good defense. UCLA is just better all around, obviously. And that is today. And we will get to tomorrow. Let's move to other things. Hey, Gregor John, how are you? You betting the baskets, Gregor John? I'm not ready to bet them yet, but I'm getting ready to bet them. So I hit my first game today, Maryland. I loved it. Fed's emergency loan may bring $2 trillion into the U.S. banking system. Okay, buy your gold. If they're going to put in $2 trillion, buy your gold. You see all the NFL trade professors? Not yet. I've been kind of looking at the basketball and all these financial shit and the gold and everything. Not really. Don't know much about basketball. Yeah, it's a really weird. I don't. It's just too unpredictable. Not like college football, which we got down to a science. Or pro football. So I'm not betting it, but I know people are asking about the tournament. So I very rarely play the bracket because I like to play it as it goes. So in other words, I don't play who's going to win the Super Bowl. I just bet Cincinnati to beat KC, and I make the Niner Philly game under, and then in the Super Bowl I take Kansas City. I take the dog. That's how I bet. I don't this bullshit of. I really don't like this bullshit of. Oh, who's the MVP in the league? Oh, you get 300 to 1 on your odds and all this crap. What the fuck's betting that? You have no idea. Because it's all rigged. You don't know what they're gonna. They look at the money and they go, oh, we make, we're the casino. We make more money if we pick this guy. I mean, that's about the size of it. So no, but just some of the guys. I know Nick wants some basketball picks. Fed's emergency loan may bring $2 trillion into the U.S. banking system. The U.S. banking sector is facing massive financial repercussions. You got to understand, banks are worldwide. People in China have money in the bank. People in Russia did have money in the bank. People in Japan have money in the bank. The UK, Germany have money in our banks, and corporations do. So when the Silicon Valley Bank got toasted, so did people in China and in London and all this shit. So, and it was very political. All the political bigwigs had money in it. That's why they're bailing them out, which is bullshit. But all that does is cause heavy inflation because you're printing another $280 billion. What I don't like is when people they print money and then they act like they didn't. Well, all they did was give it to the bank and the bank gave it back. You just printed $2 trillion. What do you mean it doesn't count? All right, this is how stupid some guys are. So the U.S. banking sector is facing massive financial, like Silicon Valley Bank has disrupted the industry. While other banks are considered to be at risk, the Federal Reserve had to ease the ongoing liquidity crisis in the country, according to J.P. Morgan. According to J.P. Morgan, the Fed's emergency loan program is expected to bring in $2 trillion worth of funds into the U.S. banking system, though through this, the current liquidity issues might be resolved for now. Funny how J.P. Morgan is commenting on it, because you know who owns the Federal Reserve? J.P. Morgan. So, of course, they know what's going on. It's their Fed. After the failure of three lenders, U.S. authorities established the scheme. So what they're trying to do, everybody's scared, right? Now what they're doing is they're pulling their money out of the mom and pop banks, and they're putting it into Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, these other bigger banks. And they think they're safe, but they're not. You can't go into stocks. We don't know what Bitcoin is. Yeah, I was looking at something on Bitcoin about blockchain, but that doesn't give it value. That looks like the stupidest way to do anything I've ever seen. Well, we have this ledger with all these codes, and then somebody's got to figure it out. And then it goes over here and it goes, really? You got to do all that work? I thought you were automating it. I would automate it where nobody's looking at the ledger. And that's what you have with credit cards and debit card. You hit it with your debit card, it's boom, professor, $200. I bought tires, $300. Boom, gets hit on my account right away. There's no bullshit. So why is Bitcoin better? You don't even know if I could have made two transactions. How do you decipher? Like it seems like it takes a month to decipher which was my transaction. Yeah, sounds like a really good thing. Which leaves you with gold and silver, which we know is the only real money. You just printed $2 trillion. This value is now this is about This is all that's left with the dollar is this little crack. And you can say all you want about inflation. Inflation. I heard this one idiot say that inflation's going down. What are you on drugs? This is a guy that doesn't. But what's funny is he says he knows what inflation is the devaluation of the money, and yet he says it, but he doesn't know what he's saying. This is just blows my mind. So anyway, this is another more inflation, more money being printed. We don't have much time. Just buy your gold and silver. Aaron Rodgers to the Jets and Jimmy G to the Raiders. What do you think about these moves? Aaron Rodgers to the Jets, and I heard they got Lazard, if I'm right, and they'll probably, I don't know, like Brady took Gronk with him. He'll take Lazard, and I don't know if he can get Devontae Adams over there, but I'm sure he'll pick up some receivers to throw it to. I like that move because I like the Jets' defense. Now they're the best team in that division. They're much better in Miami. And now I think they're even with Buffalo, and then New England's going to be last place. They'll be lucky to win 8 games. Not with Mac Jones. With Zappy, maybe. With Mac Jones and no receivers, New England, Belichick's showing you he doesn't know how to coach without Brady. So it really shows you Brady's that. So I really like Rodgers to the Jets. I think there'll be a live dog in any game now. I think he can win any game for you. He's got Lazard. He doesn't really need to get used to the receivers. They had good running. They have a great defense. So the Jets definitely make the playoffs, not a question. Jimmy G to the Raiders, I think I don't get it. I don't know what Jimmy G's doing in the league. I don't know why he's starting. I don't know why the Raiders would pick him up. We all think Derek Carr is better than Jimmy G. Good Lord, what are the Raiders doing? So they've taken a step back in quarterbacking. They need to draft a quarterback. Jimmy G, first of all, he's always hurt. Secondly, he's not a stud. On the Niners, he could hand off because they had the great defense. But what are you going to do in Oakland? They have no defense. You're comfortable that Jimmy G's going to go beat San Diego? They're going to beat Kansas City? Fuck, I'm going to lock San Diego and Kansas City against Oakland now. Jimmy G's he's not a very good quarterback. So I really don't get this whole thing in my mind. Colts emerge as team to monitor in the Lamar Jackson sweepstakes. Maybe. Gold bars worth more than $67,000 seized at the border. Border Patrol officials seized a shipment containing more than $67,000 worth of gold. Very interesting. What the fuck? What do you mean seized it? This is concerning. 4 bars of nearly pure gold. So it was a matter of 4 bars seized at the border. Found outside a shipment declared as clothing, CPB said, U.S. Customs. So this is trying to go into the U.S. Customs. Cincinnati, they don't have a border there. Border Patrol officers seized a shipment containing more than $67,000 worth of gold after it was declared as clothing valued at $125, according to U.S. Customs. What border is in Cincinnati? Authorities noticed the package had density anomalies during the X-ray screening. When they opened the shipment, officers found 4 gold bars and a box of loose gold concealed within articles of clothing. According to CPP, the package came from an apartment in San Francisco and was headed to an address in Hong Kong. Still don't understand the problem. Experts confirmed the gold was about 98% pure and had a value of $67,000. Our officers process millions of legitimate trade imports and exports every year at the Port of Cincinnati. Cincinnati Port Director said in a news release, where they uphold the U.S. economy by facilitating legal trade and investments. Officers also protect the country's revenue and its citizens from individual and by law, exporters are required to file electronically through CBP if the value of their goods exceeds $2,500. Failing to report accurate export information could result in civil or criminal penalties. So they didn't, so they're sending something to Hong Kong, and it's worth more than 67,000 because that's at this price. So 4 gold bars. This is the problem. I think they should have went to Hong Kong. I mean that's I would have flown to Hong Kong, and we got to figure out what the airlines, or I would just ship them FedEx or something. I don't know. Gold ring price dropped. I'm trying to. I can't. A tail equals 30 grams, 1.5. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Globally, gold prices edged up and range-bound trading on Wednesday due to a softer dollar. Investors, again, this is paper gold. I don't know. Let's look at our gold. See, when you see headlines like this, it's paper gold. They're trying to scare you into not buying gold. Oh, it's not worth it. Oh, how am I going to ship it to Hong Kong? Well, don't fucking ship it to Hong Kong. See, if that's the problem, then you just trade it in, get the money, and then just PayPal it to Hong Kong. Gold futures 1923.80. I don't get it. They're down 750, but I don't think they were at 1930 yesterday. And what do we got? We got silver 21.72, gold at 19.20. And the 10 o'clock goes back up and then goes back down at noon. So we got 19.19 gold, fake price, silver, fake price of 21.72. So remember, these are fake prices. These aren't real. Oh, let's see what Bitcoin's doing. Let's see, crypto, Bitcoin. $25,014. They're getting out of the bank, but there is no value in this. This is not worth 25. There's nothing there. Okay, yeah, buy Bitcoin. Good luck. And what happens when the internet goes out? Oops, there goes your Bitcoin. The Dow somehow up 353 points today. God only knows why. These people are so stupid. Dow pops 400 points as banks swoop in to aid First Republic. Dow sells off 300 points on jobless claims. First Republic crashes on possible sale. So First Republic Bank's having trouble. So basically, they're flooding the market with this bailout of $2 trillion. This sounds like a nightmare. So it's all fake money. They're printing money to solve the problem. And we know what happens when you print the money. It's inflation. You're increasing the value of the money, period. So looking for gold to go way up. So with that said, I'm sorry, Greg. If you like UConn basketball, well, they used to have a good team. I don't know if the coach is still there. I don't know much about it. Well, we all have our teams. I mean, that's all you can do is just like a team and hope they do well. And see, I look at teams who make me money. You make me money, I like you. So this year I like you. I'm not sure if I like Alabama, but I like Houston, maybe Texas. And we'll see who else. Maybe Kansas or UCLA. We'll have to see. So I like who makes me money. And I have to be like that. I can't fall in love with the team. And then when they get bad, I can't bet them and I can't get emotional. Betting on sports and or playing poker, you cannot get emotionally attached. Like if you ever see the coach, she doesn't want to hang out like Bill Walsh. She didn't want to get emotional attached with his players in case he had to cut them. I can't cut Joe Montana. He's my friend. And that's really the problem. So what you have to do, I can't get emotionally attached to a team. I just got to analyze it and go, yep, this is the team. That's like here, I took Oral Roberts, right, against Duke. A lot of people are attached to Duke, and I understand that, but I'm not. So because I'm not, I am able to bet Oral Roberts. I don't know if it's going to win or not. I'm not going to bet a lot on him, but what the numbers say is Oral Roberts is a good pick against Duke. So I can bet against Duke because I'm not emotionally attached. So that's what you're really looking at in this is just looking at the numbers, making your pick. Oral Roberts is playing great. Well, their numbers say they're playing great, right? Oral Roberts and Duke is a dead even game, and you're giving me 6.5. This game should be maybe 1.5 or 2. Maybe Oral Roberts should be favored. This is like an Alabama football game. They know everybody's going to bet Duke, so they make the line higher. That's what they do because they're trying to get even betting. And so with that, trying to get the even betting, they can jump the spread because they know there's going to be more Duke action than Oral Roberts action. And if that's the case, well, why lay 3 with Duke? We can lay 6, and they're still going to bet Duke. It's an advantage to the house. And that's what's happening here. So keep that in mind. You know that's the advantage. And so it's prudent to bet if Alabama plays Georgia. We'll look at the championship game 2 years ago. They were playing it, and I think it was either Georgia favored by 1 or Alabama. I mean, it was a very close game. I locked the under and won easily. But Georgia won the game straight out. They were the much better team. And that's what it gets down to. Who's the better team? Who's got the better defense? And Georgia, there was no way Alabama was moving on it. And I told you I never forget, I was in Alabama and I told my boss, Alabama beat Georgia to get into the playoff. I said, Georgia laid down to let them in. And now they'll get a kickback. But in the championship game, Georgia's going to come to play. And she says, well, I don't believe that. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm not asking your opinion. I'm telling you, Georgia's going to win. And Georgia won. And you think she'd have been smart enough to say, nice pick, Howard, good pick. That was a good pick. No, she doesn't say a word. These are losers that I'm talking to. And it was like I had to get out of Alabama because of all these idiots. But that's like, oh, you don't give me that was a nice pick. Like, yeah, I think you got it. See, when I tell people like that, I'm not looking for their opinion. This is why I keep turning off sports talk radio. And, Johnny will call in. Well, in my opinion, I like this, this, and this. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about Johnny's opinion. Why do I care about Johnny's opinion? I don't know who Johnny is. He's calling up on this talk radio show, and he's going to give his opinion that I don't give a fuck about. I don't like half these gold guys because they give they don't know what they're talking about. So this attorney who worked for the government, this Rickards guy, keeps trying to come across like he knows what he's talking about. And he keeps talking about this demand pull, supply push, cost push, demand pull, inflation. Like that's the inflation. The inflation is simply printing the money. It doesn't matter if you print it if the prices either are behind or in front. it doesn't matter. You're still printing the money. Then he's trying to say, well, you're not really printing the money. You're just giving the money to the Fed and they're giving it back to the Treasury. Well, that's a bunch of bullshit. If you're printing money to the bank has it, right? The bank's covering off loans and other things to pay out investors. So what are you talking about? It's not real. So this is a guy that clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. So therefore, I don't want his opinion. It's like the communist at the hot tub. I don't want to talk to him because I don't want his opinion. I don't care about his opinion. We actually talked a little bit yesterday, but I didn't listen to anything he said. He was smart in the way he asked me a question and that I would answer, but it was not derogatory. It wasn't communism. It was like, I usually sit in one spot. Some lady was there, so I was in a different spot. And he goes, oh, you didn't get your spot, causing me to answer. So I was okay. I'll answer it. And I basically said, I don't give a shit as long as I'm in the hot tub. I don't care. And then we start talking, and I said, so what do you think about these bank closures? He doesn't know what's going on. And I said, this is because he gave an answer of it's Trump's fault. And I said, I basically said, you're an idiot. What do you mean Trump's fault? Well, it's about the deregulation. What are you talking about? It's got nothing to do with the regulation. He says, okay, what happened? So some idiots invested in bond at 1.5%. And apparently instead of going 90 days out, made long-term bonds. And now the bonds are 5% and they're getting fucked. And the value of the bond works like this. The higher the interest rate, the less the value of the bond. So if you buy a bond at 100 at 2% and it goes to 4%, now it's worth 90. You're fucked because you've only got $90 in the bond because the interest rate's eating the other half. I'll have to teach bonds, but I'm not that familiar with it because I don't play them. It's like basketball. I don't really play it, but we'll figure it out. But that was kind of the basic thing. So I said, Austrian economics works. And then I was trying to explain to him, look, it's very simple. It's about freedom. You can choose to be what you want. You can substitute your good, and you can have competition at the individual level where your communism's at the government level. It's very, very simple. The government tells you what to do versus you telling you what to do. How do you not like that? And then I'm saying, well, you need to buy gold before you get crushed. He says, why? I don't really have any money. Oh, you're a communist and you don't have any money. So you want everybody to take care of you. Now I understand why you're a communist. You're obviously too fucking stupid to get a job, and you think everybody's supposed to take care of you. And so you cry when we're not taking care of you. This is America. This is everybody takes care of themselves. And so now you see the emperor has no clothes. Now you really see what's going on. I says, well, silver's 25 an ounce. I just bought 20 ounces of it. I mean, that'll turn to 2,000. And so anyway, it wasn't a long talk, but I said, you insult me, and I don't listen. When people insult me, I don't talk to them. He says, yeah, I know. And I says, yeah. He says, you think I should take everything you say at face value? And I said, yes, I do. If you knew me and you would listen to me, you would understand that. You would understand I don't make things up and I don't lie, and if I don't know, I don't say. But if I'm telling you to buy gold, it's because I know that's that's your way out. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? If you don't trust me, I mean, then you're an idiot. I mean, basically, I'm telling you what to do. I'm baby fooding you. Here's what you do. You obviously don't know. So you think because I say it, I'm misleading. I'm not telling the truth. That's your own demons, man. Then you don't trust anybody. I don't tell people what to do as an opinion. I'm telling you as a fact. I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm telling you why gold's not going up. JP Morgan keeping the derivative price, but it should go up with high inflation and Russia, China with the dollar backed by gold. That's really what you are looking at. And I think he's starting to get it. But I said, you got dollars. You have no choice. You're not going in the stock market. You're not going in Bitcoin. We don't know what it is, which leaves you with gold and silver. There is no other choice. There's no other currency to go into. And if you need money, you go to the coin store, take your gold, he'll give you back your money. And it's as simple as that. It might be adjusted a little bit, up or down $20. I bought some at 1,700. It's 19 now. I could go make $200 on it, but I don't want to. I want to make 20,000 on it, not 200. You don't buy it as a stock. And that's where people really get confused with gold. They think it's a stock. Well, I'm going to buy it at 18. I'm going to buy it at 1,800 and sell it at 2,000. No, you buy it at 1,800 to sell at 35,000 because that's where it's headed in this unique time. So anyway, I was watching one guy on YouTube, and he thinks silver is going to go down because he doesn't get its money, right? So he's saying, well, for production, the car companies aren't going to make as many whatever engines or whatever that use silver, so the demand for silver will go down. And you're like, dude, silver is money. We're not buying it because we think that they need it in cell phones, right? We're buying it because it's money, just like gold. These guys just are so out of touch. But then they come on and they try to sound like they know what they're talking about. And you roll your eyes going, what the fuck is wrong? These people are so stupid. It's such an obvious thing, and yet people are just trying to poo-poo Austrian economics, trying to poo-poo gold. Yeah, that's why all the central banks in the whole world are buying gold. But no, we don't want to buy it. And I'm very convinced the U.S. has zero gold. So I think what's happening is J.P. Morgan's keeping gold and silver low on purpose with the derivatives so other people can buy it. And he gets a kickback, I assume. And because the U.S. doesn't have gold, they don't want the price to go up because it benefits Russia and China and India. So they're going to be worth a ton and we're going to be left behind. And I think that's coming more crystal clear is why J.P. Morgan continues to keep the price low. Now, everybody's arguing and going, well, why isn't gold gone up? Like they think it's not a stock. It's not. You have to understand that. What you're missing is this going down and down and down. This is losing value. That's the part you're all missing. This is getting worse and worse and worse. And it ain't going away. Inflation's not going away. This Rickard said that inflation's going to be gone soon. Guy's a fucking moron. The way you measure it might make it look lower because they can't keep raising the prices because the market won't allow it. I was looking at Pepsi today. $2.79 at Myers. That's a big chain. $2.79 at Myers. Buy two, get one free. So the real price is $2. That's how you get around the inflation is they keep the price up, but if you buy three, you're paying what? $2.80, $5.60 for three now. $5.60 for three is what? $180. It's about $185 a bottle. So you're lowering your price down to $185, but you're keeping the price at $2.79. That doesn't make sense. We'll buy three of them and then the price. Well, I mean, good luck if you're buying three of that crap, but I don't really see why. So anyway, that's the point of it. So inflation is the money losing value. The problem is you can't chase it off of gold like you could before. 35 an ounce to 1,900 an ounce. You can see now it takes $1,900. But the problem is because if you would have left gold alone at market and gold's now at 3,000 an ounce, then you could see the dollar dropping and gold going up. But because it's done derivatively, you can't see gold go up. So you can't see the loss in the dollar. The only thing you can see is, Orioles and Coca-Cola prices going up, which means the dollar's the value. But I don't understand. The guy loses me when he starts talking to me like there's two different types of inflation. No, the inflation is one type. I mean, either the price is ahead of demand or behind demand. Demand pull or supply push doesn't matter. This is the part I don't understand. The guy's going off on a tangent that doesn't make any sense. I heard this with this other idiot yesterday where he's saying, well, the money supply is 20 trillion, but there's only so many dollars out there. No, the money supply is dollars. And if there's 20 trillion dollars in the money, if the money supply is 20 trillion, the money supply is dollars. So you're coming up with like $800 billion, not 20 trillion. Well, no, if you got 20 trillion in your money supply, that's how many dollars are printed. They print the dollars. It's not magic. They print it out. Here's another 2 trillion. It's printed. It's in the money supply. So I don't know. Maybe they don't print them. Maybe it's just we're like, are they actually giving the banks $2 trillion availability? Are they printing out 2 trillion? I mean, how are they coming that with that figure? Then how do they give the banks the money? Even if it's electronic, it's still printed money. It's still, if you need it, they're going to print it. So yeah, money supply is 20 trillion. That's huge, massive inflation. So how do we have inflation then? If it's all a game, how do we have it? Is it demand pull or cost push? Who gives a fuck? It doesn't matter. Oh, it's really there because of shift. No, that's prices. That's price is price. It's not inflation. If things go up in price, it's not inflation. It's things go up in price. That's all it is. If an avocado went from 99 cents to 119, it's not inflation. The price went up. I mean, and if the price goes down, it's not deflation. And there's nothing wrong with deflation. It doesn't hurt you. But the Keynesians all think that you got to keep going and keep the economy going. That's where their misconception is. And there's nothing wrong with deflation. It makes goods cheaper for the individuals. But because we're looking at things from an individual and they're looking at things from government, they keep pointing to the government, So anyway, I just hate these people who are freaking idiots. I lost a lot of respect for Mike Maloney, and then this Andy guy is just, he keeps saying, there's a big demand for silver. Yeah, we got it. When is JP Morgan going to stop keeping the price low? That's the question you need to ask, Andy, not this shit. So anyway, tomorrow will be our guy, Andrew McGuire. And now we'll get a better feel of the banks when he comes in. He'll really explain it much better than any of these idiots. That's why it's hard to listen to these idiots. They don't know what they're talking about. And you got Andrew McGuire and Alistair McLean and all those guys that really know what's going on to explain it. And then I understand it, but like I never heard of these banks. These are little nothing banks, and this is the sixth largest bank in America. No, it isn't. But see, the difference is it's not an individual bank; it's a corporate bank. So because they do startups and joint ventures, and you want to start up a crypto or something, you go to that bank. Well, why don't you just go to Chase or Wells Fargo for your startup? They lend to people too. So these venture capital banks are like for startups. Oh, like that matters? So really stupid. The government's so corrupt. It's just, I don't know. We got to find a place to live. We'll have an island. When gold and silver go to the roof, we'll have an island and there'll be no corrupt bullshit on it. So anyway, so I gave you the basketball picks. The football, I keep seeing a lot of Lamar Jackson out there. Don't know what he's doing. He turned down $20 million a year or something. I don't know. Whatever he did, he's not good. I wouldn't sign him. The only why they're not signing because he's not a quarterback. And if he's a running back, he's not worth $50 million a year. And if he's a receiver, he's not Tyreek Hill. So why would I pay this guy? He's a fast guy. The whole league's fast. All the running backs, all the receivers, all the defensive ends, all the secondary guys are fast. So he doesn't bring to the table anything that these other guys don't bring. So who gives a fuck? So anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on Lamar Jackson. I wouldn't touch him. Like, where are you going to go with him? You think you're going to win a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson? Baltimore couldn't? All right, good luck there. What else? Oh, I met this girl at the grocery store. I made a quick comment to her, and I got a real good vibe from her. And I told her, we started talking, and this is why I used to do this. I worked at the grocery store when I was 16. Yeah, and I was still betting football. This is early 70s, mid 70s, like 77, 78. And we started talking, and she says, well, I'm an introvert. And we had a really good conversation. We had good chemistry. And I says, can you read people well? And she says, yeah. And I says, well, I'm an introvert and extrovert. I'm an INFJ. She didn't know what it was. So I showed her a YouTube. I didn't go through the video. She didn't have time. She was working. And I says, you might be one also. And so she's going to check it out. But you can see that chemistry. I can feel people. And I was going to ask her, she had to go help a customer. I was going to ask her, what do you feel with me? To see if she could read me. Because if she's an INFJ, she could read me and I could read her. And she liked that I started talking to her. I could tell. So that's the thing. So try to read people, right? Just go up to a girl, say hi or whatever, and you'll feel the vibe back and the feedback. So it's pretty cool. If I didn't have my friends in Europe, I don't know what I would have done, but I don't know. I'll venture back there and see if I can see her. But she did work. She worked for Meijer, didn't work for the grocery store. So this is curious. Anyway, I haven't heard from Daria all day today. She might still be working, Jenna. Nobody texts. Well, Jenna texts me at 3 a.m. She says, I know you're sleeping, because it's like 10 a.m. there, or 9 a.m. I think it's a 6-hour difference. Anyway, didn't hear from my girls. Irina's due anytime with her baby in Romania. She said she's scared. And I said, look, if my ex could have 2 kids, anybody can have 2 kids. I go, it's not hard. You just push it out. I mean, but I can see your first time you're nervous. Second time, it's not a big deal. That's what's happening with me. I got the haircut today. College basketball on, so I assume guys are watching. Anyway, that's it. So you got my picks for today, and we will have. We'll come on. I'll come on in the morning a little earlier to do tomorrow's picks. And now that I got it all on one square, then it's much easier to just analyze them out. And we're going to lose half the field by the weekend, so that'll make much easier for next week. I can consolidate it down to 16. So right now, I don't even know if it's 64 or 68 or playing games or what the fuck. But once, after this weekend, I'll have a better feel for it. Anyway, NFL draft coming up soon. I'm still trying to figure out why everybody likes the Alabama linebacker. Like, what part am I missing? Why does everybody like Alabama quarterbacks, Ohio State quarterbacks, any Alabama linebacker, Will Anderson? What's so good about him? I don't know. I watched Tennessee light them up for 50 points. I don't think they have a really good defense. They just got lucky they didn't play Georgia. See, they always get lucky they don't play Georgia or Florida. What a great schedule. Although now Tennessee's getting a good team, and they kick their ass. Anyway, that's about it. Oh, it's a light. Well, I did a show earlier or a class. So keep in mind, buy your gold and silver. They're going to keep poo-pooing it. And like I said, they went to war over Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi for trying to have a gold system, gold standard. And I think that's what they're trying to do with Russia and China is provoke them into a war because they're going with the gold standard. And it just shows you how weak the U.S. is that we don't have any gold. So if China and Russia go to a gold standard and all of a sudden all their money's backed by gold, who wants U.S. dollars? Nobody. We don't have gold. Our dollars are worthless. We're fucked. You don't understand. We're this close to being, Brazil. I mean, being just killed, right? Being Chile, being nobody. Mexico, we're nothing. We are nothing. So keep that in mind. Our strength, the dollar, nobody wants. It's not the petrodollar anymore. Nobody wants it. Everybody's got gold. It's all coming. It doesn't, it's just here's all the gold over here. Here's the U.S. We don't have anything. Bye-bye. Here's all the gold. He who has the gold makes the rules. And unfortunately, we're fucked ourselves. Well, the idiots fucked themselves by having Keynesians in charge. It's like the Lions always have a bad coach, right? They never get an experienced coach. They always have a bad coach, and they always lose. And it's been that way for 60 years. And that's what you got in running the government now are the Lions, are guys that have no idea what they're doing. And so it's just they think they're strong because of whatever, the Army or the Navy or whatever. And they're not strong, and it's all collapsing, and they're printing more. We'll just print more money. You can see it's straight out the Keynesian book. Wow, we'll print $2 trillion for the banks. We'll give this one bank $280 trillion or whatever it is. You can't just keep printing. And yes, it gets out there. It's not like you print the money and give it to the bank and it doesn't count. I love that one. Well, it doesn't count. Or you give the Ukraine, $2 trillion for the war. It counts. You can't say it doesn't count. It counts. Well, it's electronic. They're not really printing. It counts. It all counts. Fucking idiots. Anyway, I guess that's about it. So go enjoy the baskets. I'm going to the swim in about an hour. And that's about it. So fortunately, I got my stove working, got my haircut. I'm in good shape. All right, back to the baskets. Enjoy. And that's about it. Okay. Buy your gold and silver. The banks are falling. They're all falling. You can give them more money, but they had this money and they fucked up. Look at Credit Suisse. They fucked because of these rising interest rates. He's fucking the banks. And he's not solving the inflation problem. So now if they reverse and they start lowering the rates for the banks, the inflation is not going away. It's getting far, far worse. So the more you print, the less it's worth. Buy gold and silver. All right, everybody. Have a good day. I will talk to you tomorrow morning. We'll talk Friday's college basketball and see what's happening with gold and silver and see what Andrew McGuire is talking about. All right. Have a good night. Good luck to you if you're betting these games. And go Oral Roberts, beat Duke, and go Army, beat Navy, as we always like to say.